Hello and welcome to another Everything Electric podcast. Coming to you, as you might have noticed, from my new studio. Slightly different. It's all changing a bit with all the changing names and updating. It's not quite finished yet. It needs a bit of refinement and polishing. But nonetheless, this is the first podcast I've recorded in my new studio, and I have to say it was enormous fun. Now, there are elements of this podcast where two quite old men have a bit of a whinge. But I think it's a legitimate whinge. They're having a bit of a moan. We both are. So we are gentlemen of a similar age. My guest today is Sandy Munro from the United States, and he is just an extraordinary figure in the world of engineering primarily, but in specifically automotive engineering and now specifically battery electric vehicles. He knows a thing or two about battery electric vehicles. He's a really extraordinary guy. But before we dive into that, I just want to remind you that because they are extraordinary events. So there's 3 extraordinary events. I'll do that we're involved in. No, there's 4 extraordinary events. The first one is going to be Everything Electric Vancouver, which is going to be amazing, absolutely incredible. I won't be there. First time I've missed a show through planning and logistics. I'm not going to be in Vancouver, which I really regret now saying, all right, I won't go to Vancouver, because it's just the most beautiful city and it is the most extraordinary event as well. Really good event. So that's happening. That is on the 5th, from the 5th to the 7th of September, so that's quite about a month's time. Then after that, we've got Everything Electric South, which is at Farnborough in the UK, and adding on to that, so that's 2 events, and adding on to that event is the Zap Heap Challenge tests, which we're going to record in front of a big audience at that event. We're building a huge test arena. Oh my God, it's going to be incredible. And Colin Furze will be there along with the teams and along with Jack Scarlett and Imogen Bogle, the presenters, and we'll all be there and they will be amazing. And the 4 teams have built 4 incredible machines, but you will sort of at each day, you will see one test with 2 teams. And all the machines are electric and they're powered by batteries and they have wires and they have a bit of software and we hope they work. They will work. How long they'll last, because some of them are quite extreme. And then we have, which I am very much looking forward to, Everything Electric Melbourne in Australia in November, the 14th and 15th. I haven't done the dates of Farnborough, the 11th and 12th of October in Farnborough, and then the 14th and 15th and 16th of November in Melbourne, which I'm really excited about. And apparently that is going very well, because it's the first time we've done one. So it's a bit of an experiment, but we're really thrilled to be doing it. So I'm looking forward to that. And I will be at both Farnborough and Melbourne. But that's enough about all the live events. And Zap Heap Challenge. Oh my God, it's so exciting, because we've now made it could be incredible. You might not like it. Who knows? I wouldn't want to judge. That's it. I want to dive into Sandy, because Sandy is amazing. He's an extraordinary man. We've known him a long time, and he's been at our live events. He's been on stages. He's such a great communicator about the importance of engineering and how we don't have enough engineers. It's kind of that's a kind of thread of this particular episode. I'll shut up. Please welcome to the Everything Electric podcast, Sandy Munro.
Our 3 free YouTube channels on EVs and clean tech are funded by our fun-packed test drive-tastic events in Farnborough, London, the Southwest, the North, Melbourne and Sydney, and next up we're in Canada for Everything Electric Vancouver. And new for UK viewers, you can now buy a battery EV and much more at everythingelectric.store.
Sandy, this is such a thrill for me, and thank you so much for finding time to do this. Have you got up early today to do this? I didn't want to.
Well, I didn't get up early. I got up at the normal time, but right. There was a little confusion about what time I was supposed to be on.
Yeah, there always is. No, I'm sure whatever is wrong, it's going to be my fault. There's no question of that.
Okay. Well, as long as we got someone to blame, everything's good.
Yeah.
That's
good.
it.
That's what it's all about.
That's the way business works. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's great to talk to you because I mean, there's a lot of topics that I really want to catch up on that are happening in the United States. I mean, well. Let's start with the very first one because the most recent figures I've just seen, literally last week from Kelly's Blue Book, show a fairly marked increase in sales of electric vehicles in America, which I think, as someone outside the country, would go, well, I'm surprised because it feels like there's been such a huge pushback against wind, against solar, against all those things. But clearly, it hasn't affected the electric car market yet.
Well, it hasn't affected the electric car market because, quite frankly, the more people, I believe, anyway, I'm not 100% sure here, but I believe the more that a government or any kind of ruling party or whatever wants to cram something up whatever. We'll just skip that one. But at the end of the day, the more they push, the more people get skeptical. And the more people that get into an electric, so I had to give back the Tesla Cybertruck that I was driving.
Right.
But I need a truck. Okay. So guess what? Yesterday I went down to the Ford dealership and I didn't buy it. I leased it because we're going to be talking about some cars that I'm going to want to buy in the future.
Right.
So I went down and leased a F-150 Lightning Platinum. Oh my God. Okay. Does it have self-driving? No, but I drive mostly myself anyways. I kind of like to drive. I mean, but everything else, oh my God, the thing is so luxurious and it's smooth and it's cool and it's quiet.
Right.
How could you walk away from something like this? And it's given me 300 miles of range. I got my little adapter plug and I can get into any Tesla charger.
Right.
I mean, once you drop, yesterday was a big day. I got the truck, but I also went to get my back adjusted. Too many airplane rides.
Yeah.
And so the guy that adjusts my back and whatnot, he says, "Oh, wow, cool truck. That's a Ford, right? Did you get an F-150? I said, I got a Lightning. It's an EV. I've never driven one. Threw him the keys.
Right.
He went around in the parking lot. Okay. I saw him go around in the parking lot. Then he disappeared. He disappeared. Hey, so I'm paying for this. What's going on here? So anyway, he sent a message and the next thing I know, I got brand X squeezing my back. So, okay, fine. So he comes back, parks it and says, I really like that.
Right.
I mean, that's what happens if you get people into an electric car. It's very difficult to get them to go back to, hey, let's put a little more gas in it. The kids are all puking. Well, that's okay. You got to tough it out. I mean, electricity is the way to go. And as far as the other stuff, it's all quiet. You can't believe how many people are putting him. I've got a friend of mine in Canada. He's trying to buy up as much battery storage as he can get.
Right.
I mean, and in Canada, it's cheap, but he doesn't sell to Canada. He sells back to the States.
Right.
So there's tons and tons of stuff going on right now with wind and, but it's all done on the QT.
Yeah. I mean, but talking of Ford, because I saw the amazing talk that Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, did recently at some conference in Phoenix, I think it was. And he was just so articulate and erudite and clear and, not just very kind of calm. His arguments were based on things like scientific fact, logic, experience, engineering know-how. But they've got a big announcement coming up then, Ford have. I mean, do you know anything about that?
Well, yes, I do. It's going to be on Monday. I highly recommend you watch, but I like Jim Farley. I think he's one of the 2 or 3 guys on the planet that I'll listen to. Yeah. They nailed my lips shut. Right. I'm going to be there actually for this announcement, but I can't go into any depth. But it's going to come out Monday.
On Monday.
And I recommend you stay tuned.
Yeah,
I think it should be on quite a few of the channels.
Yeah,
and it's completely contrary to everything that everybody else is saying.
Right.
That's about it. I can't. In fact, I shouldn't even have said that last thing. But at the end of the day, watch it. I really, I mean it. You're going to really get you're going to get a kick out of it. I really think it's going to be. And I was super blown away.
Right.
And there's video of me in there looking at this vehicle while it was being developed, and you can see what kind of clothes I've got on. And this is like March or something like that.
Right. Okay. So a while ago.
Seeing it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a video, but they held it back. So this is really big stuff for Ford, but I can't talk about it. So let's move on to something.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Before I get myself in a world of hurt here. Yeah.
The only good thing from your point of view is this will go out after the announcement on Monday, so it's fine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I think so, or it'll go out on Monday. Anyway, whatever it happens. But
your Monday's earlier than mine. We
that's
have,
true. We have an early Monday. You're right. Yeah. But because I'm sort of fascinated by the vehicles we can't see or we're not going to get over here. The Aptera being one of them, because I was there when they launched the latest version. We don't talk about that yet. But the Telo Truck, I've seen so much stuff about the Telo Truck that it just looks like a generational step in automotive thinking. So you've seen it. You've been to see it, have you?
I'm telling you what. Okay, so the Ford vehicle that I saw, watch for that on Monday. Yeah. I'm pretty impressed with that, and that's one of the main reasons why I didn't buy the F-150 Lightning is because of what I've seen. Right. So that's one thing. But Telo, oh my God, blew me completely away. Right. Now, we should save Telo actually for the end. Okay. But nobody cares about that because dessert is what you eat first, right? You could die. Maybe there's a fish bone or something and you could die.
You might never get dessert.
Telo, 2 inches shorter than a Mini Clubman.
Wow.
2 inches shorter. Okay. Right. So I'll put that in, that would be like, 60 millimeters or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's 2 inches shorter, but I can put 4x8 plywood in it, laying flat.
Wow.
And close the door, the gate. Wow. Yeah. Cab forward design. Yeah. And it's engineered. Right. They did absolutely nothing that comes from the old spec. Everything is engineered and it's brilliant. Yeah. I'm telling you what, I was so blown away. I couldn't believe it. Believe it. This is a step change from everything else. And is it a diesel? No, it's electric. Oh well, you can't get electric. And they showed me some. I can't talk about that either. I got so many things. I mean, one of these days, some Russian guy's going to assassinate me or something.
Because you know too much.
Their battery system, which I can't talk about, just blew me away. Wow. I couldn't fathom. I've been seeing stuff for about 20 years. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? And these guys said, okay, Sandy, we're going to show you something. You can't talk about it. Why is that? Well, you talked about it for a long time. We actually did it. And here it is. What's the old term? My dad used to use it all the time. Gobsmacked. For, for an American or a Canadian, you never hear that term. That's because my dad was Scottish. So at the end of the day, that's what I was. Yeah. But that vehicle coming in at the price that they want to sell it for, all day long, and that's only one. The other one's Slate. Is that on the agenda?
Yes, no, it is. Okay. Yeah.
What a perfect vehicle for a kid for starting out.
Right.
I can buy it as a excuse me. I can buy it as a pickup truck, plain Jane pickup truck.
Yeah.
And then I can add seats, and I can turn it into an SUV. And then if I need to, I can turn it back into a pickup truck again. Wow. As my family grows, I can add more stuff to it. Wow. Things for the kiddies. This is the perfect. This is like the Mini when we worked on the Mini with BMW. The idea was we want to have as many options as possible that they can buy and put them on themselves. Because the mini buyer, in those days anyways, was somebody who was kind of like a mechanic that wanted to get things done. And that's exactly what Slate has done. Only like I say, on steroids. It's just amazing. Amazing. I watched them turn it from the plain Jane pickup truck into the ultra SUV that you can get with it. And I saw it done in an hour and a half.
Wow.
Three guys, an hour and a half, all done.
Right.
This is, if I would have had that as a kid, that would have been my first and probably only car ever.
Yes.
I mean, why would I need anything else?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, that's a really big one. Telo and Slate just blew me away.
Right.
I mean, really, really and truly.
And they're both American companies that, I mean, I think this is relevant to the current climate, but they're both American companies that are making those vehicles in America. They're not shipping the manufacturing overseas. Is that their plan? I mean, they're going to manufacture them in the USA.
They're going to try and manufacture as much as they can in the USA, but there is a gigantic problem that most people don't even know. There are no tradesmen left in the States.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's almost as bad in Europe. When German guys saying that, we have a shortage of tool makers, holy mackerel, we can't find a plumber around here. That's because the school system is so buggered up. Yeah, I mean, you have to go to college and get yourself a degree and blah. Yeah. No, you don't. You do not. So I can do anything. I was a tool maker before I was an engineer. Right. And the only thing I can't fix is a crack of dawn. And I went down. My wife is complaining because there's a pipe leaking in the basement from the sump pump. And I don't care. I don't want to do it. I'm old and it's plastic pipe and I hate that. So anyway, we call up a kid and he comes down. This guy's 22, 23 years old.
Right.
He is a certified plumber.
Right.
And the reason for that, because when he was in grade school, he was a big dummy. And then when he went to high school, he was a big dummy. Because why? Because they were teaching him shit he didn't care about.
Yeah.
So his uncle said, he was 16. His uncle said, why don't you come with me? And he started the trade, a plumbing trade. Yeah. Illegal. It's illegal to do that. You can't train anybody for the trades until they're 18. Why? Why is that? I was 16 when I started out. Why can't you do that? Why? No idea, no reason. It's so they can suck them in to go into university and getting a degree that'll make you suitable for a Walmart greeter. Yeah. At the end of the day, this kid come in, sized everything up, gave us a bill that and then he finished it off. Then he started telling us about his life.
Yeah.
He's now making something like $160,000 a year. Wow. That's in dollars, of course.
In his early 20s, yeah.
Yeah, so and he's 22, 23, something like that. He has his own truck.
Right.
He has 2 motorcycles. One of them is a classic, an old Triumph Bonneville, I think.
Yeah.
He has and he has 2 cars, and he has a house.
Wow.
23 years old, and he's making about $150,000 a year. Wow. What are his friends make? And he graduated from high school at the bottom of the class. Right. And the only reason he got out was because his girlfriend helped him cheat so he could get out of high school.
Right. Wow.
Why is this? Why are we looking at anybody that goes into the trades as a dummy?
Yeah. It's
really?
So bad. It's so bad.
Go and get a professor to try and fix his pipes.
His pipes. Yeah.
Anyway, at the end of the day, this is the biggest problem we got in the States right now. No tool makers means, hey, no tools.
You can't make anything. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't make anything. No dies, no molds. What are you going to do?
That is very true here too. It's very true all over Europe. I mean, it's somehow more shocking in Germany just because they've been at the forefront of manufacturing and making things, since the end of World War II. They've been incredible. They're well known for making things really well. German stuff is well put together. And if they are short of engineers and tool makers and, mechanics now.
Every tradesman, every trade, it doesn't matter whether you're swinging a hammer or designing the next rocket ship. Everybody's short.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the school system is bent towards sending kids into universities and colleges with sugar plums in their head. Yeah. I mean, Sue's got this great big long diatribe on some girl that wanted to become an Egyptologist. Well, I bet you they need 50 of those on the whole planet.
Yes. Yeah.
And you have to have a PhD, and then you can't get any money. Nobody will hire you. You have to work for free. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The school system. And I gave a lecture at a big schooling whatever. And what did they call? The process is called milking the morons.
Wow.
Milking the morons.
That's horrible.
That's so what you do is you get these kids that I want to help the poor. Okay, good. You're going to get a master's degree in social sciences or whatever. Yeah. How many do they need? Maybe more than 50.
Yeah.
but not millions. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
60% of the people who graduate now say they were lied to in high school. Right. Or sorry, 70%. And 60% of them have a job that pays peanuts.
Yeah.
But they got degrees. I mean, it's ridiculous. So we have in the state, we have it on the planet, except for China, a huge problem with tradesmen. Huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I've been in China this year, and you just see such a different attitude there. It is, for all there's plenty of things we can be very critical of China, very legitimately. But my goodness, they're really good at making things.
They are.
That's become very, very obvious.
And we taught them. They got taught by the Germans and the Americans and the Japanese.
Yes, absolutely.
Man, you talk about. Anybody ever read? I mean, what happened to the Roman Empire? They outsourced.
So obvious, isn't it? It's so obvious. But I want to move on just because the one company I'm really fascinated by is Redwood. So have you been to Redwood Materials?
I have.
Because that's because that argument, I think, is critically important. When I hear, and I still hear it a lot, oh, I'd love an electric car, but I'd have to buy a new battery, or I'll have to throw away my battery. Oh, what a shame you have to throw away the batteries after 3. All this ridiculous stuff that people have been told for the last 15 years. And you go, well, one, you won't throw it away. 2, the battery will last longer than the car. And 3, even when it has worn out, we're still not going to throw it away because it's too valuable. But they are such a good proof of that.
Right. Well, there's 2 proofs that are out there. So I was out there. I looked around. I made a really quite a long video. I think it's out right now, but a big video. I was blown away by what they were doing and how they're recycling. The recycling process is absolutely 100% contrary to what I thought. I thought dip them into liquid nitrogen, crush them up or whatever in an inert atmosphere. Nope. They don't do that at all. They take them in, roll them around, and initially they have to heat them up. But as they're rolling around, they create heat. It burns away all the gases, and because of this tumbling action, everything turns. I mean, it grinds itself down to nothing. And then they just basically use a skimming process, so everything has its own density. Yeah. And then they skim off what they need. And I was walking in a plant where they're pulling lithium out, tons, big giant bags of this stuff.
Right. Wow.
I mean, this is the way to go. And then the batteries, a lot of batteries that were in car crashes and whatnot, they examine them, and if they're not damaged, if they have no physical damage, they're not going to recycle them. Right. They have a field. It's got to be, I don't know. It's in square miles. Right. I can't remember. 10, 15 square miles. Who knows? A lot. And they got one over here and one over there and one over here, and then they got solar panels, and they're just laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And they pay nothing. They pay nothing for all the energy that they use.
Yeah.
Everything.
Wow. But
and
they're using the batteries to store the solar overnight and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly
Wow.
right. It's totally mind blowing. So
Yeah.
I don't usually want to plug things, but there is a thing with JB Straubel
Right.
and Redwood. If they're interested in how it actually works,
We'll put the
that's
link
got
in the show notes. No, it'd be a really
yeah.
good thing to do. No, because
Yeah.
that's
Anyways, that thing will really blow your mind. And
right.
quite frankly, that is what my friend in Canada, Randy Furlan, he
Right.
is. That's what he's trying to do right now.
Right.
So I put him in touch with a bunch of different people, and there's others that are doing it, but everybody's doing it on a QT because it's not socially acceptable now.
Right.
So there's a lot of things going on in recycling.
Right.
A little bit because everybody's starting to find out now that why recycle when I can reuse? That's a whole lot cheaper, better all the way around.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that I saw many years ago. It's I believe we've got to get the city right. It's Rotterdam. The huge football stadium in Rotterdam in the Netherlands has enormous amounts of solar on the big roof that goes all around the stadium. And they're using old Nissan Leaf batteries, but they've been using them for years. I think what's interesting about that was it was a big story when it first came out, I don't know, 10 years ago, but they're still working. It's the same batteries. So they're like 15-year-old Nissan Leaf batteries. They're fine. And they all their spotlights and their heating and everything in that stadium is run off solar and batteries from old cars. That's it's
well,
not even
here's the thing. I mean, when people ask, like, there's a couple of names of people that I have that are on my little list of folks to contact, and so people are saying, "Well, I'd like to get solar panels and batteries, but it's too expensive."
Yeah.
How much is an old Leaf worth? What? Well, if you buy an old Leaf for maybe $5,000-6,000, it's got a battery in it. Oh yeah, but the Leaf, blah blah blah. Forget it. Just buy that and build a little shed around it. That's it.
Yeah.
And then, as far as solar panels, there's a ton of solar panels that you can buy that are not the highest grade imaginable. Slap that on your roof, and the next thing you know, but get a real electrical engineer or a real. Okay, so. And the next thing you know, you've got a battery in a vehicle that right now, okay, you're not going to drive it, but that thing is bigger than I have batteries here. I got a Tesla wall.
Yeah, me too.
There's more batteries in the Leaf than I got in my basement. And I did put up solar panels. And so my my electric bill, or my wife and I's electric bill, is $11 a month.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And we charge our cars here too.
Yeah.
And we're not allowed to make money off the grid.
Right.
But last year we got true up payment of 11 cents.
Right.
So we 11 bucks a month, which is the line that comes from we have to have a line here. Yeah. Which comes from the grid, okay? And that rental fee for that one line is 11 bucks a month.
Right.
Okay? And that's where the $11 is. Otherwise, we pay nothing. Zero. Yeah. And we run on solar pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
So it's there. It's available. I don't think big business is real interested in hearing that you can do these things on the cheap. But at the end of the day,
but also, I mean, if you are a big business and you've got a big this is finally happening in this country where there's like a big distribution center, a big warehouse, and they're going, if we put solar on the roof, our electricity bill goes down. Yeah. It's like, yes, that's been the case for a long time. I think it's because we passed that point where this was the building industry in the UK, an event I went to where someone explained that for the cost per square meter of putting tiles on a roof of a new house is higher than putting solar panels. Solar panels are the cheapest way of covering a roof. So, that has shifted thinking finally, but it's still not that much. But finally, you now see new houses going up and they do have solar panels built in from the get-go, which is, and then it becomes very cost effective. But
okay, so here's what happened at my house. Sue and I had arguments. I wanted to put panels up and batteries in the basement. Finally, she said, "Hey, if you want to do it, you take it out of. We have our money, and then we have her money and my money.
Yeah.
So our money we don't touch.
Right.
My money went into buying this stuff.
Yeah.
I paid, I think, something like 45 or 50 grand. Solar panels, battery packs, everything else done. Right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, Sue said, you're never going to get a return on your investment. Okay, fine. Then something strange happened. So we bought this house for $550,000. Now, it was loaded with bushes and trees and vines and whatnot. Yeah. We had to strip all that crap off.
Right.
And I had to put in a new driveway. The value of the house now, because of the solar and batteries, $1.5 million.
Wow.
I got my return on investment, not through electricity, but because now we've got something that people find desirable and are willing to pay for.
Wow.
And believe me, when I had a real estate, I just jerked the person around. I'll apologize to her one of these days if I ever meet her. and she said, well, I would really like to sell your house. Oh, well, my wife and I are thinking, no, we're not. But what would you? Well, I drove by and I noticed that you have solar panels and blah blah. What are your utility bills? $11 a month. Well, I mean, what about in the wintertime? $11. Well, what happens when snow's on the panels? I have a large broom. I get on a ladder and I just pull the snow off.
Yeah.
Whoa, really? I mean. Yes, really. Anyhow, she's the one who gave me the $1.5 million thing.
Right.
Yeah. And she said, this is the kind of house that anybody would want to have and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't know much about buying and selling houses.
No, me neither.
But it really worked out real well for us.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the things that I loved when I was last in Australia. I had a discussion with someone who has worked in the national grid in Australia and their whole grid thing, but who said that what he noticed was that solar panels initially, so we're talking maybe 20 years plus ago, were seen as a sort of liberal, progressive, blah, blah, green, tree hugging, all that stuff. Yeah. And then eventually the person who lived next door to the tree hugging, green, progressive was a kind of Republican, and then but saw their utility bills, and it's crossed the political spectrum, because you basically, particularly in Australia, their peak demand is middle of the day with air conditioning, and that's peak solar. So it's become the most solar intensive. If you drive around Australia, you'll see a house without solar panels. You go, oh, look, there's one, because they all, it's really, really common there, and I think that's a fascinating. I mean, it kind of gave me a bit of hope for electric vehicles. It's in a similar way, because I've always argued nuclear power isn't political, solar power isn't political, wind turbines aren't political. They're just technology, which either works well or it doesn't. And you can decide on that, but it's not. There's the politics that's been sort of thrown at them is secondary.
Well, at the end of the day, this is like what is that term? If it bleeds, it leads.
It leads. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, people pick up their newspaper or watch TV and think, oh, this is fact. No, it's not. They've got to sell cornflakes. Yeah. That's what they're there for. They're not there to tell you the news. They're there to get you to buy the latest pair of sandals or a purse or something. Who knows? But that's it. That's their job. They're just an advertising station that happens to throw stuff out. And how do you catch people's attention? Easy. You just tell them that, the world's coming to an end and they'll be in it like white on rice. Yeah.
Sales of EVs that I'm just not aware of in this country that are doing really well. I mean, because I do remember seeing a lot of General Motors. What's their sort of compact kind of hatchback, I call it. They're really good. The Bolt. The Bolt.
Bolt. The Bolt is out of business.
That's
General Motors has drank the Kool-Aid, and they're moving everything to, big V8s or something.
All right.
So, but I am going to be seeing one of their vehicles. They've asked me to come down and look. Now, General Motors as a rule, does not want me to do anything because
Right.
I am not a I'm not a paid commercial. Nobody's going to buy my favor. Period.
Yeah.
I'm too old. I got too much money. I
Yeah.
don't need anybody to tell me what to do
Yeah.
or where to go. So they are paying Monroe Live
Right.
to have me come on and assess one of their vehicles.
Right.
And I said, "You got to be kidding me! They're out of their minds. If I see something wrong, I'm going to tell them."
Yeah.
And apparently, according to what Eric, the guy that runs Monroe Life,
Yeah.
he said they totally expect that. And I said, "Well, what happens if we do this thing and they don't like it? Are they gonna take it down?"
Yeah.
And he said, "I don't know, but they're paying us, so
Right.
it'd be up to them to say nope, you can't do it."
Yeah. And,
So
and
anyway, but
is that an electric vehicle, Sandy?
it's an electric car, yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's an
new
electric
one.
something. They've
Yeah.
been very secretive about it and whatnot. But the first bolt was a piece of crap.
Yeah, that
They
was not
brought
good.
out
I
the
remember.
second one. Oh my God, the improvements. I couldn't
Right.
stand that either. Then they brought out the third one. Sue and I went on and extolled the virtues of this car.
Right.
We were blown away. Everything that we thought was goofy or terrible, they fixed.
Right.
And then 2 or 3 months later, they announced the closing of that plant and got rid of it because they came out with crap initially.
Yeah.
They finally figured it out, and then they shut it down. Why?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, there's been tons of Kia. Remember that?
Yeah.
They used to be the worst piece of crap on the planet. And now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware of it, but GM and Kia and Hyundai and Kia, GM, Hyundai, Kia, are bound together now, trying to take over the South American market.
Right.
So the best minivan that I know of is the Kia Carnival.
Yeah.
Beats everybody. And GM makes great pickup trucks. Now, if they hit South America with two vehicles that are really needed and wanted and can put up with South America's got some incredibly bad roads. Right. And if they can survive those roads, I mean, they'll dominate South America. And South America is poised because they've got the lithium triangle is in Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Okay. That triangle, that's got more lithium than everybody else, period. Yeah. And it's easy. You get 2 kilos per ton out of the water the salt water that they've got. I mean, so they've got lithium. They've got cobalt. They've got bauxite, which can be turned into aluminum. Yeah. They've got everything needed, right? That China and the United States and Canada don't have. Yeah. Okay. And if they get their crap together, and they can, keep one ruling party in for a junta or whatever they call those things. Yeah, they could be dominating the planet. They could take over for China. Yeah, and they've been training toolmakers and people like that all over the place. So I see. I know everybody is saying, "Oh well, we're going back to diesel." No, we're not. Yeah. We're not going to do that. And there are people that are working on small engines and stuff like that. But guess what? Kids don't like gasoline. I don't care what anybody says. You can go after the 45 to 60-year-old market if you want to. But the teenage kids are coming up. And they are going to want that crap. And we talked about, well, Ford's going to have something that I think is going to be really impressive. Right. And then you've got Telo, and you've got Slate, and you've got a dozen other. You were talking about Aptera. I love that car. I have one on order. I mean,
great. Okay.
Yeah. So I like the idea of not paying anybody for my convenience. Okay. Yes. I don't want to pay anybody for anything. Yes. But Aptera is being chased down by some. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of people that want them all gone. And then you've got these smaller companies who've done marvelous things on a shoestring.
Yeah.
I mean it. So I believe that the the imagination, the engineering, the lack of restrictions, the biggest restrictions for all of the bigger companies from Audi to XYZ, I don't care who, everybody there, is all these legacy rules that were perfectly good in 1957.
Yes. Yeah.
But they're no good now.
Yeah.
Why are we still? Why is it that you have to go through all these hoops to jump in and try and find materials that you can use?
Yeah.
These guys have already tested it. Well, they're lying. No, they're not. Yeah. Why are you wasting your time? 10 years of development to figure out that you can use something that's been in the market for 20 years?
Yeah.
I don't see the logic there at all. And that's what these other guys are doing. Right. They're doing, Telo especially, Telo and Slate, well, actually the Ford, everybody that is going to be alive in the next 20 years is making decisions right now that say standards, forget it. Yeah. And we're not gonna waste our time with what happened in 1957 or 67 or any of those days. I mean, they're old. Yeah. You don't look backwards to see the future as a rule. I mean, you can learn from history, but you shouldn't repeat history.
Yes.
That's what really it boils right down to.
Yeah.
The people who want to repeat history are always going to lose. Just ask anybody who had bow and arrows versus guns.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it is interesting that, and I'm really got my fingers crossed, but companies like Rivian and Lucid in particular in the United States. So new companies, when you think of how many new car companies were started up between, say, 1945 and 2000, there was very few, basically. And what we've seen is a huge number of them. Most of them have gone under. So all the European startup companies we saw when they first had a prototype and they launched it and it was a lot of hoo-ha-ha, they've all gone under. They've not survived. And I expected the same, like there was a Faraday Future, when I remember when Faraday Future launched and Lucid, and I went, these guys are not going to make it. But Lucid, I think, I don't know, are they doing okay? Are they selling cars enough?
Well, they're selling cars, but not very many. The deal here is, though, that Lucid is funded by the Saudis under the PIF, right? The private investment fund or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that they're not going to have a problem. And then Lucid is owned by PIF, but PIF also owns Siri. I think it's called Siri, which is a small car electric car that's being built in Saudi Arabia. Oh. And that car, that product line will probably also be manufacturing Lucid vehicles for the European or the Arab world. And and I think that's how they'll survive. Right. As far as Rivian was doing fine, but the tariffs are going to kick the daylights out of them.
Oh, really?
I think they could live without the $7,000 that certain people would get if they bought one of those vehicles.
Yeah.
But the tariffs.
And that's because
they just announced something like $3 billion it's going to cost them. That's the same as Ford. Wow. Ford is $3 billion because of the tariffs.
Yeah.
They've got a. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to bring back all the technology that they need in order to escape the tariffs that are going to come from China and Europe and wherever else.
Yeah. So I didn't realize that. So Rivian are using parts and components that are manufactured in China, I guess. Is that?
They're manufactured. It's like everything else. The consultants, 30 years ago, when I was at Ford, or 40 years ago, the consultants were coming in and they were saying, "Oh, you should outsource everything."
Right.
So the first thing that happened at Ford was they outsourced instrument panels and seats and some of the electronics. And I said, you know what? If you don't manufacture, you go out of business, because manufacturing is where you find out the rules and regulations for whatever the next generation of design should be and can work. If you don't have that, you lose profound knowledge. And as Dr. Deming used to say, profound knowledge is the only thing that you need in order to succeed, to be profitable in the future. And so I had my little statements and I said what I said, but it's impossible to argue with the big consulting houses. The big consulting houses said this, Sandy says that. If Sandy was so smart, how come he's still here? Why isn't he a consultant?
Yeah.
And that's when I left Ford and I became a consultant. Guess what? Right after that, Sandy, we want you to redesign the 351W engine and on and on and on. That was so it kicked off my career. Right. I was smarter when I left.
Yes, that's
and but as long as you've got people that are saying, hey, you know what? Send it to China because he'll make it cheaper and you'll make more money, which means you'll get a bigger bonus.
Yeah.
Boom. You got their attention.
Yeah.
Hey, send that to China. These guys here are ripping you off. And you can control the Chinese.
Yeah.
Got it again. There's a whole bunch of these snap phrases that the big consulting companies use, and hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
Board members, CEOs, presidents, everybody jumped on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
So now we don't have any tradesmen.
Yeah.
Now we don't have any tool shops. Now we don't have any. We depend heavily. I mean, where's the engineering done? India and China.
Yeah.
It ain't done here. I mean, you can find places like the company we just talked about.
Yeah.
They have a lot of internal, but they still
require. We live in a global economy at the end of the day. I mean, whether for good or bad, that is the way things operate at the moment. And you can fight against that. And I've always felt that it was a mistake. We did exactly the same thing in this country. We outsourced, we offshored all the manufacturing. They used to go. I think it's so easy to forget because the actual physical remnants of it have gone. So where there was a huge car factory is now a shopping center or a housing estate. It's gone. So it's gone from history. You don't even remember it, But we used to make, when I was a kid, and you would be the same, all the cars that my dad had were made within 100 miles of where we lived because that's what happened. And tens of thousands of people worked in those industries, and they've completely gone now.
Well, I talk every once in a while. Somebody will ask me for big moments that I've lived through. When I was a kid, everything we had in the house, everything we ate, everything came from either Canada, where I was living, or the United States.
Yeah,
we made everything.
Yeah,
and one of the things that was really a big deal was General Electric, who made everything from light bulbs to nuclear power plants.
Yeah.
Everything was made by GE.
Yeah.
And then we got the savior of the universe. What was his name? Jack Welch. And what did he do at GE? He got rid of everything.
Wow.
He turned it into nothing. GE now makes jet engines, and I don't know if they make anything else. That's it. And they're probably going to lose that too.
Yeah.
He sold everything down to nothing.
Wow.
Down to nothing. And that is the apex. When if you go to New York, there must be shrines all over to this guy. Oh, what a smart guy. Look at how he destroyed GE.
Yeah.
But the shareholders got some money.
Got money, yeah.
That's the kind of mentality that we've got in the US. Yeah. And actually one of my all-time favorite comments is, who invented the ball bearings? Who invented that? Great Britain.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, if they would have kept that to themselves,
Yeah. You'd be in a different place.
There would have been no battleship that could have withstood anything that came out from a British battleship.
Yeah.
There would have been. I mean, think about it. Ball bearings are everywhere.
Yeah.
Who invented the modern magnet? That was done here in the United States.
Right.
But they shipped it out. Why?
Yeah.
Was it the inventors that shipped it out? Nope.
No.
It was a bunch of financiers that came from New York.
Yeah.
Oh, we can get it cheaper in China.
Yeah.
And look at that. And we don't have to dig up any sand pit that might have neodymium or dysprosium in it. See, we've saved all these lizards.
Yeah.
What's happening now? Everybody's kind of looking around for neodymium and dysprosium, and guess what? We've got tons of it here in Canada and U.S.
Right.
But you can't get a permit to dig a hole, and you never get a permit to refine it. Oh no! Think of the children. That's the other big statement. I think it was in the 60s where we started using the term "think of the children."
Right.
That is the biggest farce ever.
Yeah.
You just say that, everybody melts and reaches for their wallet.
Yeah.
It's a big lie.
Yeah.
It may have been the truth sometime when it first came out, but now it's nothing but a big lie.
And I mean, that's the thing about manufacturing. You know, if you've got the image of manufacturing being a dirty old factory with a big chimney with smoke coming out of it, I've been to old factories like that are now museums. So that would have been, maybe then we should have thought of the children because they were working under the looms in the weaving mills and all that stuff. But I mean, that's history. You know, it's very, you go around a modern factory now. For a start, there's very few people because it's all robots and machines whizzing about. And they're very clean. You know, they're not dirty environments. We've got to wind up, Sandy. But I just want to. Your history and your knowledge of that, the way that shift has happened, I think, and I feel that I need to explain that to the younger generation, because if you've been born, say, in the last 30 years, everything was always made in China. I think that's just your world. That's how it is. Even the last 40 years, really, the huge amount of manufacturing and of the thing like our refrigerator and the kitchen sink unit and everything. It's just extraordinary how that's happened, and that's happened in our lifetimes. And this is what I think we mentioned just before we started, but that there are things that your current president is doing that I absolutely agree with, but I don't agree with how he's doing them. But manufacturing there should be toolmakers in America. America should be able to make things, same as we should, and other European countries should. That we've lost that skill. And we're paying the price for it now, and we're struggling to find a way out of it.
Well, I have a fabulous illustration that I use in one of my presentations, and it's a rickshaw with a Chinese guy sitting in the rickshaw, and a British nobleman with a pith helmet on.
Oh yes,
pulling it. Okay,
pulling it along.
Yeah, and that I got that illustration done in 1984.
Wow.
And the title was when the master becomes the slave.
Yeah.
And I tried to put that across when I was at Ford.
Right.
In the 80s and I was laughed at.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Laugh all you want now. Now tell me what's going on. There's only one way, as far as I'm concerned, to generate wealth. And that is with manufacturing. Yeah. If you don't protect manufacturing, you can't create wealth with services.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. And by the way, when I say manufacturing, I'm also including things like agriculture. And the reason for that is because you have to take the beans and boil them and put them in a can. Yeah. That's manufacturing.
Yeah.
And without manufacturing, you have a service economy that's doomed to failure. And just ask the Romans. They'll tell you all about it.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. A service economy functions by taking money that already exists, because it's been created by manufacturing, raking it in and giving it to very few people. That's how it's panned out. And it's very,
that's how you create peasants. And quite frankly, when I put that slide up, people cringe. And they well, that's just ridiculous. And I've heard everything from I'm a bigot. And what the biggest one is, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't even have an MBA. Yes. And right there, I'm surprised I'm on your show. Really.
Yeah, we should.
You're not listening to the right people. Yeah.
No, you are definitely the right people, Sandy. It's been brilliant talking to you, and I love it. I love all that stuff. And I mean, we will put a link to the your show about Redwood materials. We'll put a link in the show notes for this, because that is, I will watch that with great interest. But that's been fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Sandy, today. It's been great.
Thank you. I'm glad that you're still talking to me. I mean, really. Thank you so much, Robert. I really appreciate it.
Well, I really hope you enjoyed that. It was a great time. I love talking to Sandy. We actually, when we stopped recording, I thought we must stop recording, because otherwise we talk for another hour afterwards. Maybe we should have just had a 2-hour podcast, but I thought, anyway, it was great. That's all. Please do tell your friends about the Everything Electric podcast, and please do subscribe if you haven't already, and please do check out Everything Electric Cars, our main channel, if you haven't seen that, and please do come along to one of our live events if you're anywhere near where they're happening. And that's it. As always, if you have been, thank you for watching.